The New South Wales Independent Commission Against Corruption, or ICAC, exists to prevent and investigate corrupt conduct. This short video explains some common myths and misconceptions about the ICAC. Myth: the ICAC finds people guilty of corrupt conduct. The ICAC is not a court, and it cannot make a finding that a person is guilty of a crime. The ICAC can conclude that a person has engaged in corrupt conduct, which is an investigative finding, not a finding of criminality. Myth: the ICAC can sentence people found corrupt to prison. No, the ICAC is not a court. However, the ICAC can seek the advice of the Director of Public Prosecutions in relation to the prosecution of a person for a criminal offence, or recommend that an agency consider taking disciplinary action against a public official. If the DPP advises that prosecution for a criminal offence can proceed, the DPP is responsible for that prosecution through the courts. Myth: the ICAC is unaccountable. While the ICAC is independent of the government of the day, it is accountable to a Parliamentary Oversight Committee, which monitors the performance of the ICAC's functions. The ICAC is also accountable to an external independent inspector. The inspector may audit the ICAC's operations to monitor compliance with the law, deal with complaints against the ICAC or its officers, deal with maladministration, and assess the effectiveness and appropriateness of the ICAC's procedures. The ICAC obtains authorisation from a court or other external body prior to exercising many of its coercive powers, such as conducting search warrants or intercepting telephone calls. Myth: a person cannot challenge a corrupt conduct finding. Anyone whose conduct is investigated by the ICAC is entitled to legal representation and can respond to the evidence against them and any proposed findings. Like every other public organisation, if the ICAC makes a legal or procedural error, it is subject to the oversight of the Supreme Court of New South Wales. However, the Supreme Court will not rehear or reinvestigate an ICAC matter. In addition, the inspector has broad powers to deal with complaints about the ICAC, including that it has taken action that may be contrary to law. Myth: the ICAC's only function is to investigate. Investigating allegations of corruption is only one aspect of the ICAC's work. It is also responsible for preventing corruption and educating public officials and the public about corruption and its detrimental effects. This work includes providing training and advice to agencies and public officials through a variety of channels. Myth: New South Wales ICAC must hold public inquiries. The New South Wales ICAC only holds public inquiries if it is satisfied that it is in the public interest to do so. In making this decision, the Commission must consider factors including the benefit of publicly exposing corrupt conduct, the seriousness of the allegations, any risk of undue prejudice to a person's reputation, and whether the public interest in exposing the matter outweighs the need to preserve privacy. Myth: ICAC investigations unfairly tarnish reputations. No. A primary purpose of an ICAC investigation is to investigate and expose any corruption if it is in the public interest to do so. The ICAC only makes findings of corrupt conduct in a public report. It can only do so if satisfied that the conduct is serious corrupt conduct. Before making any such finding, the ICAC carefully assesses submissions made by individuals under investigation. Inevitably, a finding of corrupt conduct has an impact on the reputation of persons found to be corrupt, but this is not the ICAC's objective. Myth: the ICAC sets the rules for government agencies. No, the ICAC can make recommendations, give advice and prepare guidance regarding the practices that government agencies can adopt to reduce the risk of corruption, and promote public integrity. Although it has wide-ranging investigative powers, the ICAC does not establish or enforce rules for how agencies are run. For more information, visit www.icac.nsw.gov.au.